Subscribe to the MTL World at Mythal World 1 YouTube channel. Swallowed Star 2, Land of Origin. Volume 11, The Hunyuan Blade Dao. Chapter 409, The Battle on the First 18 Levels of the Abyss of Destruction. 24th of Volume 11. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. Luo Feng gazed coldly at Wugu Hunyuan Ancestor. Still not giving up. Do you still want to fight? Wugu Hunyuan Ancestor, a being comparable to a practitioner lord, possessed naturally keen insight. His domain and physical body was effortlessly severed, and over 300 realm envoys were cleaved in half with a single strike. Wugu Hunyuan Ancestor fully understood the terrifying implications of such overwhelming power. I truly didn't expect the practitioner faction to have someone like Lord Xingmeng, and now another Lord Luo Feng. Wugu Hunyuan Ancestor snorted coldly before instantly vanishing into the fabric of space-time, ascending to the deeper levels of the Abyss of Destruction. I speak faction territory. Bingfeng. A manifestation of Wugu Hunyuan Ancestor descended and immediately came to see Bingfeng Hunyuan Ancestor. A colossal figure shaped like an icy mountain opened its eyes. Composed entirely of deep blue ice, it radiated an endless chill that rendered the surrounding vast expanse uninhabitable for both low-level and high-level Hunyuan beings. Wugu, Bingfeng Hunyuan Ancestor said, his gaze fixed on Wugu Hunyuan Ancestor. What brings you here? The top three figures in the Ice Peak faction are Shazhou, Bingfeng, and Puji. However, Puji Hunyuan Ancestor is the most unruly of the 12 immortal beings. While Wugu Hunyuan Ancestor is somewhat greedy, he is relatively obedient, which earned him Bingfeng Hunyuan Ancestor's high regard. Bingfeng, I encountered Luo Feng in the Abyss of Destruction, Wugu Hunyuan Ancestor said solemnly. I gave it my all, but he severed my body with a single blade strike and seized control of the 8th level's Chaos Destruction realm. Bingfeng Hunyuan Ancestor was stunned. Impossible. I wouldn't have believed it myself before facing him, Wugu Hunyuan Ancestor said, waving his hand. A holographic projection of their battle materialized in midair. Battles frequently erupted in the Abyss of Destruction, making constant surveillance impossible. Moreover, Wugu Hunyuan Ancestor's clash with Luo Feng was too swift for anyone to notice. When I fought Luo Feng, no other powerhouses were observing my Chaos Destruction realm, Wugu Hunyuan Ancestor said in a low voice. For now, this battle remains a secret. Even those who could observe the past would typically be unable to witness battles at this level. Only a handful of beings in the entire infinite Hunyuan space could observe battles involving Hunyuan ancestors and lords. As for observing the future. While the past is fixed, the future held countless possibilities. Navigating different future timelines is enough to confound countless powerhouses, making it far more challenging than observing the past. Has Luo Feng grown this strong? Bingfeng Hunyuan Ancestor remarked after reviewing the entire battle. Your physical body may not be your strongest asset, but it's still above average among Hunyuan ancestors. Combined with your powerful domain and the power of the Chaos Destruction realm, how could you fail to block even a single strike? It seems his destructive force has already surpassed Momen, Jin, Mingwang, and the other top practitioners. Wugu Hunyuan Ancestor nodded. He had clashed with Momen, Jin, and Mingwang before over control of Chaos Destruction realm and other matters. Luo Feng is definitely far stronger than Jin and Momen. The severing power alone is far inferior to the abilities of Jin and the others. However, when combined with the Hunyuan Life and Death Dao, some of Luo Feng's killing techniques could instantly unleash 1/10 of his total energy reserves. This far surpassed the energy reserves of Jin, Momen, and Mingwang when they burned the energy of their main battle clones. Naturally, Luo Feng's blade effortlessly severed Wugu Hunyuan Ancestor's body. Yuan may be formidable, but his strength lies solely in formations. Even he couldn't achieve what Luo Feng has. This destructive power rivals Xingmeng and Shazhou. It's already at the highest level of the infinite Hunyuan space. Bingfeng Hunyuan Ancestor, having witnessed the entire battle, made this judgment. His mood was far from good. The practitioner faction, once been subservient to him, was now growing increasingly defiant. Now that Luo Feng's strength had surged again, the practitioner faction would only become more assertive. Wugu Hunyuan Ancestor asked, Bingfeng, how should we respond? Wu Jin just broke through, and now Luo Feng has too. Bingfeng Hunyuan Ancestor felt truly weary. After Wu Jin Hunyuan Ancestor's breakthrough, he had become immortal and his power now rivaled that of Bingfeng Hunyuan Ancestors. Combined with the innate Hunyuan lifeform faction's inherent superiority, their strength had only grown stronger. Meanwhile, Luo Feng, the rising star of the practitioner faction, is rapidly closing in on the level of Lord Xingmeng and Shazhou. As the leader of the Ice Peak faction, one of the three major factions, how could the Bingfeng Hunyuan Ancestor not feel weary? His own faction's Puji refused to obey, and the three sovereigns of the wind Feng, Thunder, Late Sea, Hai are constantly causing trouble. Don't rush, the Bingfeng Hunyuan ancestor said. The greatest conflict lies between the practitioner faction and the innate Hunyuan lifeform faction. The innate Hunyuan lifeform faction controls half of all Hunyuan ancestors in the infinite Hunyuan space. Their insatiable hunger for resources and the origin core of the origin worlds makes them destined enemies. He continued, let them fight first. The fiercer their conflict, the deeper their hatred will grow, making reconciliation impossible. Wugu Hunyuan ancestor nodded in agreement. After all, the Ice Peak faction had less than half the number of Hunyuan ancestors compared to the innate Hunyuan lifeform faction. This Luo Feng, how long has he been a lord? The Bingfeng Hunyuan ancestor sighed, it's been too long since a truly powerful figure emerged from our Ice Peak faction. Luo Feng is indeed terrifying, Wugu Hunyuan ancestor admitted, his pride slightly shaken by Luo Feng's astonishing growth rate. Exactly. He's already closing in on Xingmeng and Shazhou. What will he become in the future? The Bingfeng Hunyuan ancestor felt a growing sense of helplessness, as if the practitioner faction was about to surpass the Ice Peak faction, leaving them powerless to respond. 8th level of the Abyss of Destruction. The phantom origin is truly remarkable, Luo Feng thought. He had hastily imprinted his mark on it earlier while Wugu Hunyuan ancestor was present, but now that the Wugu Hunyuan ancestor had left, Luo Feng could finally study the phantom origin in detail. Unlike the origin of a typical mysterious land, this phantom origin was far more ethereal. No wonder the Hunyuan ancestors and lords call it the phantom origin, Luo Feng murmured, his senses blurring, it feels so intangible, as if its existence depends entirely on the abyss of destruction itself. Even with the power of the 8th level bolstering me, my strength only increases by about 20%. Luo Feng tested the power of Chaos Destruction Realm, finding it surprisingly weak. He recalled how his power had multiplied several times over within the Blood Crane territory. Even from such a distance, the Blood Crane territory's power amplification remained significant. Once I leave this Chaos Destruction Realm, the power's amplification will diminish further, Luo Feng recalled from his intelligence briefings. At that point, its only remaining use will be to enhance weapons, increasing their destructive power. This is the only suitable use. The degree of enhancement to a weapon's destructive power varied depending on the strength of the Chaos Destruction Realm, typically increasing it by about 10%. But Hunyuan ancestors and lords, Luo Feng thought, their many techniques don't require weapons, so they receive no enhancement. He considered domain techniques and long-range attacks, which were unsuitable for weapon-based execution and thus gained no benefit from the power of the Chaos Destruction Realm. Compared to controlling a mysterious land, harnessing the power of the Chaos Destruction Realm offered only a marginal advantage. But matter what, even a mere 10% increase in power of the weapons is still significant for Hunyuan ancestors and lords. After all, at their level, any improvement in strength is exceedingly rare and precious. Luo Feng, having recently broken through using force, is still in a phase of rapid growth. But if he truly comprehends the Hunyuan Blade Dao in the future, he would face the same predicament as other Hunyuan ancestors and lords, even the slightest progress would become agonizingly difficult. Besiege me. Luo Feng sat cross-legged on the 8th level of the Abyss of Destruction. With a thought, 550 realm envoys materialized, each launching a frenzied attacks. The highest level destructive power on this 8th level can be called the annihilation power, Luo Feng calmly observed, sensing the energy. It's 80% destruction and 20% world building. The Abyss of Destruction contains different destructive powers in each level. I've heard that the deeper Chaos Destruction realm beyond this level contains destructive powers fusion from 3 Daos. According to the intelligence he had gathered, all destructive powers beyond the 20th level are fusion from 3 Daos. For example, the 26th level, where Lord Xingmeng resides, is known as the Black Fire Tribulation Power. It consists of 80% annihilation, 10% Dao of fire, and 10% darkness. This level contains only 50 realm envoys, but even though each could only wield a fraction of the Black Fire Tribulation Power, their combined power is enough to pressure even Lord Xingmeng. As we delve deeper into the Abyss of Destruction, the number of fusion Daos increases. Luo Feng thought, does this mean that greater power comes from fusion of more Daos? This aligned with the experiences of the Hunyuan ancestors and lords. The Hunyuan ancestors, who wielded the highest level powers, grew exponentially stronger as they comprehend more of these powers and combined them with greater perfection. Refining and controlling the mysterious land, in particular, demanded mastery of a vast number of highest level powers. The Blood Crane territory contained 3 types of highest level powers. One could only imagine the refinement threshold for territories containing 4, 5, or even more such powers. Currently, no individual Xuanhuan ancestor had mastered more than 2 distinct types of highest-level powers. Practitioner lords, who wielded Daos at the Xuanhuan level, are also limited to a maximum of 2 types. Everyone knew that comprehending more Daos and more types of highest-level powers would inevitably lead to greater strength. However, the difficulty of achieving this increased exponentially with each additional Dao. Stay rooted in your own path and continue walking it, Luo Feng thought, as he endured the onslaught of 550 realm envoys. He studied the profound mysteries of this destructive power, steadily accumulating his own understanding. While Luo Feng was cultivating, chaotic battles erupted in the upper levels of the abyss of destruction. Wugu Xuanhuan ancestor first clashed with Lord Wu Lan on the 7th level, but Lord Wu Lan, backed by a coalition of realm envoys, easily repelled him. He then challenged Xuanhuan on the 6th level, who was also aligned with the Ice Peak faction. Their strained relationship made Wugu Xuanhuan ancestor's brazen attack unsurprising, yet Xuanhuan still managed to block him. Ultimately, Wugu Xuanhuan ancestor successfully seized the 5th level from the Lotus Prison Mountain Lord. The Lotus Prison Mountain Lord excelled at defense, but Wugu Xuanhuan ancestor's domain effectively restrained him. By simultaneously suppressing the Lotus Prison Mountain Lord and fending off the realm envoys, Wugu Xuanhuan ancestor secured control of the 5th level. After having lost his Chaos Destruction realm, the Lotus Prison Mountain Lord turned his attention to other Chaos Destruction realm, sparking a conflict with Yanwo Xuanhuan ancestor on the 4th level. In the end, none of the upper levels remained peaceful, as every faction was forced into battle. After spending more than an epoch on the 8th level, Luo Feng finally reached the 9th level of the Abyss of Destruction. On this level, 3 exquisitely dressed women simultaneously looked at Luo Feng. Among these 3 women, one was petite and adorable, another tall and aloof, and the third possessed eyes as calm as still water, devoid of any emotion. Lord Luo Feng, the 3 women greeted him. Ancestor Ryu, Luo Feng replied politely. Ancestor Ryu was born with 3 bodies, yet all shared a single life core that could instantly transfer between them. Her current strength ranks among the top 20 in the infinite Xuanhuan space. However, due to her 3-body form, she has not achieved true immortality. Conversely, her unique form makes her exceptionally difficult to kill permanently. She maintains a detached neutrality, rarely involving herself in conflicts and refusing to align with any faction. Until recently, Lord Negu had controlled the 9th level of the Abyss of Destruction. However, after the Wu Jin Xuanhuan ancestor seized control of the 18th level from Kafusho, chaos erupted from the 9th to the 18th levels, leading to shifts in power and changes in occupation. Including the turmoil caused by Luo Feng's conquest of the 8th level from Wugu Xuanhuan ancestor, every level from the 1st to the 18th had seen battle, resulting in significant changes in ownership. Lord Luo Feng, you have traversed the abyss from the 1st level, spending at least an epoch on each level. Is this for cultivation? Ancestor Ryu inquired politely. As long as she isn't provoked, she maintains cordial relations with all factions. But if you provoke her, she'll naturally seek mad revenge. Women's are terrifying beings. Yes, I also hope Ancestor Ryu can help arrange for all the realm envoys to attack me, Luo Feng said. A trivial matter, Ancestor Ryu agreed readily, nodding. Ordering the realm envoys was merely a thought, requiring no resources. She was happy to forge a friendship with Lord Luo Feng. Soon, 500 realm envoys surrounded Luo Feng, who continued to refine his new destructive power. After more than an epoch, Luo Feng bid farewell to Ancestor Ryu and descended to the next level. To have fought his way down level by level, spending at least an epoch on each one. Lord Luo Feng must possess formidable one-on-one combat skills, Ancestor Ryu realized. After all, not every level would grant him preferential treatment, sometimes, he'd have to rely on sheer strength. Ancestor Ryu began to follow Luo Feng's journey with growing interest. The difficulty above the 10th level was vastly different from that below. Descending further, he would soon encounter the realms of the Wu Jin Xuanhuan ancestor, Yuan, Bing Feng, and the infinite serpent Xuanhuan ancestor. Below them are Lord Xingmeng and Shazhou, and further down, the Chaos Destruction realm, which had never been fully conquered. I wonder how far Lord Luo Feng will ultimately reach, Ancestor Ryu thought, gazing into the distance. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to MTL World at Mittelworld 1 YouTube channel.